All right, I haven't made an anime video in a very long time, or I think I haven't. But this is an anime topic that I've been having on my heart for a minute because now the anime world is flooded with isekais and heavy shonen and this, that, and the third. But there was one genre that was able to battle with all the other genres, and I really think it's forgotten now. And that genre is sports. So without further ado, cue the intro.
I'm laughing, but it's a laugh of impatience. Show the movie.
All right, so sports anime. Sports anime is probably one of the things personally from my life that got me hooked on anime as well. If you've been on the channel for a long time, if you watched my earlier videos, y'all know my first anime ever was Yu Yu Hakusho. But I also went through a long spell of watching a whole bunch of sports anime. Now, why did I watch sports anime? What drove me to it? And then we'll get to the topic of the video. Sports anime was the only anime medium where you can watch it and physically kind of visualize yourself being in that particular scenario, all right? Now, there's some anime that we'll get to later in the video as like Kuroko or I Shield 21 to a little bit. Blue Lock is another one where it's heavy, kind of like shonen in a way. I don't know where I'm gonna put this at in the video, but I honestly feel, I mentioned Kuroko. I honestly feel like Kuroko kind of has ruined the reputation of sports anime. Because now, when you say sports anime, they automatically think about the dang passes. I was doing those little passes when I was younger. Them passes that Kuroko used to do, or going into the zone like Kagami, or doing the shot like Midorima, however his name was. I think that's what people are like, bro, sports anime is just anime sports superpowers, and that's not the case. Again, I don't know where I'm gonna put this in the video, but yeah. But there are others, OTAKU, Hajime no Ippo, Slam Dunk, especially Slam Dunk, where they're way more focused on the story aspects and having character development. So those are the reasons why I found anime, sports anime in particular, the best for me. Now, sports anime have been a thing for a very long time. I think the oldest sports anime I've watched is probably between Slam Dunk, Hajime no Ippo. I'm a big basketball fan. I love basketball. Slam Dunk, I got introduced to that because I watched Kuroko. Slam Dunk was like a realistic version of a basketball anime. It dealt with these high schoolers. I forgot the dude's name. The dude with the red hair, and all he could really do was dunk. All right, all he can do was dunk. Kind of sounds like Kagami from Kuroko. But it tackled themes of like how he's able to go from someone who's really just playing basketball to impress a girl but doesn't have any skills to someone who's actually a good forward on the team. And of course, they had great sports matches and this, that, and the third. Now, I want to talk about, and I want to say this, bro. Sports anime is very, very, very underrated. And I think it's more underrated, especially in this time, bro. In this time, I told y'all, all the anime that get the most attention are the ones that that involve heavy fights, all right? And then you have some where it's like free run, right? Or which had Artillery. That's another one where it's not involving, it's not the main focus isn't major fights or anything like that. But a good story driven anime, but it's more so like on the quality is good. It's like an Oscar bait movie. If you're familiar with movies, it's like an Oscar bait movie, but for anime. Those are kind of what I look at. Free Run and Which Had Artillery. I kind of look at those anime like that. Sports anime was different, right? And I think the big bubble and the big thing was in like the early, like the 2009, 2010, that era, where it was a time where a lot of people were just trying to find something different than what was going on. Shonen has always been, when you think of anime, you're going to think of shonen. But I think people were trying to find at that time something else to look forward to. The main thing about sports anime is the great storytelling. You look at Hayek, Hinata. He is a very short dude. He's so short, but he can fly. Like I think I watched this, been so long. He can fly like, what was it, a raven or eagle? Something like they used to, their logo for the volleyball team. And it's a volleyball anime. I think, before I get into that, I think another reason why people don't really like sports anime is because they think, oh, if I don't like this sport, I'm not gonna like the anime.
That's not necessarily true at all. I just told y'all I like basketball, but I've also watched shows that were way out of my range, right? I can probably name an anime for just about all the major sports. You got Kuroko for basketball, but that has a good story too. But again, it's more so on the shonen tip. So they kind of have powers in a way, you know what I'm saying? Which I thought was really cool at the time. But if you look at basketball, you have Slam Dunk. You look at volleyball, you have Haikyuu. You look at tennis, you have Prince of Tennis. You look at boxing, Hajime no Ippo. Football, Ice Shield 21. Football, Blue Lock, which again is kind of like powery tip. Pause. Ace of Diamond, bicycle racing, Yowamushi pedal. There is a lot of different genres that I probably never would have touched, but I took a chance on them and I found out they were amazing. Yowamushi pedal was probably #1 on my list. Yowamushi pedal again. It was basically about a dude named Onada, and I'll never forget that dude. His main thing was he was a geek, an otaku. It's kind of where I got my name from. A nerd. He was heavy into like anime and that geek culture in Japan. And I forgot why. I forgot how he got introduced into being a bike racer. But he used to always push. He used to always ride what the racers called a mommy bike. A mommy bike was essentially like a heavy behind bike. And he would ride that to Akihabara, which is the kind of like the Mecca in Japan for all that stuff, for all the like the anime culture and stuff. He would ride that to Akihabara, and he would also ride that to school. He had thighs. He was a great sprinter. Pause. But again, they had a lot of different adversaries, and it was just great. It gives you time to learn about a sport that you wouldn't obviously learn about. Because if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking bicycle anime. That's how I was. My dad told me about it. Yo, Jaden, watch Yowamushi pedal. And I was hooked. I was obsessed with Yowamushi pedal. Same thing for Ace of Diamond. Ace of Diamond, actually, they have their season 4 started this anime season again. So they recently just came back. Amazing. Same thing for Ice Shield 21. I wasn't the biggest football fan. Same thing for Prince of Tennis. Prince of Tennis is really, really good. But there are shows where they focus on the story, and not only the story. I keep saying story. Not only that, but they focus on camaraderie. They focus on how to deal with antagonists who seem like they're better than you in every single way. And let's be honest, y'all. There's some points in our lives where we need to watch something where we feel like we can actually see ourselves in that position, because maybe on the outside, we are kind of in that position. Maybe you're working a job where you feel like you're the little guy. No one's listening to you. And you want to have motivation to proceed and move forward. That is what sports anime used to be. Now, I'm not saying shonen isn't able to do that same feat. It's just different because Super Saiyans don't exist. Devil Fruits don't exist. Titans don't exist. It's a whole different thing. I feel like people should look at sports anime, and it might be harder now because again, that's not where the world is kind of on right now. The main sports anime that I know of right now that's going on is probably Blue Lock. I don't know of any other sports anime that's going on. But there was some other shows too that I didn't call it. There was some sumo shows. There's just a lot of things, a lot of different things you can take from watching a sports anime. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I don't think sports anime is dead, y'all. I really don't. I just feel like a lot of people, especially the new anime fans, they just haven't given it a chance. And similar to old shonen anime, it's probably gonna be hard for people to try to be more involved into sports anime as well, especially if it's older. You know, I look at Yu Yu Hakusho, and I've been trying to convince my friend to watch Yu Yu Hakusho. It's an older anime, but it's definitely my top 3 anime of all time. Slam Dunk, it's right there. I think it was made in the 80s, but there's something about watching that aesthetic. You kind of getting a glimpse of the 80s and how they pursue love. Even I gotta look up dude's name. Hanamichi, that was his name. Even Hanamichi, right? I remember he cuts his hair off, but when he starts, he has the pompadour, which is a big hairstyle in Japan, especially in that time. So if you want to have a chance to just dive deep into a different decade and get a little more of Japanese culture, check out some sports anime, y'all. You don't have to like the sport. I don't like volleyball, but I love OTAKU. I don't like tennis, but I love Prince of Tennis. It's things like that, y'all. That's all I got for y'all, man. Quick little video. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, slay it. But I'm on the road to 600 subscribers. I appreciate if you like my content, share my content. Without further ado, I'm out. Peace.
No, I do not panic. So I swam